Hello, and I welcome you to the UPSC Prelims Chaturya series of Shantha Lakshmi IAS Academy, where we would be discussing daily 5 Prelims MCQs from the daily news of the Hindu, Indian Express and PIB. So let's begin. First question. Consider the following statements about particularly vulnerable tribal groups in India. Statement 1. A stagnant or declining population is one of the criteria for determining PVTG status. Second statement, there are 92 PVTGs officially notified in the country so far. Third statement, Irular and Kondareddy tribes are included in the list of the PVTGs. Which of the statements given above is or are not correct? 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 2 only, 3 only. So if you look at the statement 1, stagnant, declining population is one of the criteria to determine PVTG status. Statement 1 is correct because zero or negative population growth is one of the criteria to determine the PVTGs. Coming to second statement, this statement is incorrect because as of now we have 75 PVTGs, not 92 PVTGs. So 75 PVTGs are officially notified in the country so far. Coming to third statement, Irular and Kondareddy tribes are included in the list of PVTGs. Yes, the Irular tribes from Tamil Nadu and the Kondareddy tribes from Telangana are included in PVTGs. Which of the statements given above is or are not correct? Second statement is incorrect, so option C is the right answer. We have asked this question with reference to a news article in the Hindu, where our Prime Minister has launched PM PVTG Development Mission and Vikasit Bharat Sankalp Yatra on the occasion of Janjatiya Gaurav Divas on November 15th, 2023. So in this context, we would be studying in detail about PVTGs, Janjatiya Gaurav Divas and Vikasit Bharat Sankalp Yatra. Who are PVTGs? Those tribal groups who are dependent on hunting for food, who have pre-agriculture level of technologies and zero or negative population growth, and those tribes who have extremely low levels of literacy and are in great need of support and development are listed under PVTGs, particularly vulnerable tribal groups. So Government of India in the year 1975 have declared 52 tribal groups as PVTGs on the recommendations of the Debar Commission. Currently, we have 75 PVTGs. And these PVTGs are spread over 18 states and 1 union territory in the country as per 2011 census. Odisha has the highest number of PVTGs. What is Janjatiya Gaurav Divas, or it is also known as Tribal Pride Day? This is celebrated every year on November 15th since 2021. Why? To recognize the efforts of the tribal freedom fighters. It marks the birth anniversary of Sri Birsa Munda, who was referred as the Bhagavan by tribal communities. What is Vikasit Bharat Sankalp Yatra? So this yatra is about to reach out to the people at the grassroots level to bring awareness about various government welfare schemes. They will, under this scheme, it will cover 2.5 lakh gram panchayats and over 3,600 urban local bodies by 25th January 2024 to bring awareness about various government welfare schemes. So under this, state governments, district authorities, urban local bodies, gram panchayat, all these will actively participate in bringing awareness about the government welfare schemes. It will address some specific concerns of the tribal areas such as sickle cell anemia elimination mission, enrollment in Ekalavya model residential schools, scholarship schemes, forest right titles, Vandan Vikas Kendra, organizing self-help groups among the tribal population. Moving forward, second question, consider the following statements with respect to Indus X initiative. Statement 1, it will enable the defense industries of India and US to come together and jointly develop and produce military equipment, including transfer of technology. Second statement, the Gurukul initiative is aimed to help innovators and startups to navigate in the defense ecosystem of the US and India. Third statement, Indus X was launched in 2023 to expand strategic technology partnership and defines industrial cooperation between India and US. How many of the statements given above are correct? Only one, only two, all three, none of the above. So all these statements were correct because this Index X initiative will deepen the defense cooperation between these two countries. So it will enable the defense industries of India and US to come together and develop and produce military equipment, including transfer of technology. The Gurukul initiative under this particular Index X initiative will help the innovators and startups in navigating the defense ecosystems of the US and India. Coming to third statement, Index X was launched in the year 2023. Why? To develop strategic technology partnership between India and US. So all the three statements were correct. Option C is the right answer. So we have asked this question with reference to a news article because recently the first Indus X investors meet has held at Delhi before 2+2 Indo-US ministerial dialogue. This Indus X stands for Enhance the Strategic and Defense Partnership between India and US. So this was launched in June 2023 to expand strategic technology partnership and industrial cooperation between governments, businesses, academic institutions of both India and US. It will deepen the defense cooperation between both these countries by producing military equipment, by transferring technology related to military equipment. So this investors meet was organized by Innovations for Defense Excellence. So this was organized by Innovations for Defense Excellence, which comes under the Ministry of Defense. And apart from Ministry of Defense, this meet was also organized by US Department of Defense. Both Ministry of Defense of India and US Department of Defense as together organized this investors meet. Indus X will focus on advancing high technology cooperation, research, development, production opportunities in the defense sector. Under this initiative, we also have another initiative called Gurukul Initiative or Indus X Educational Series, which helps the innovators and startups to navigate in defense ecosystem of both US and India. Next question, the term Global South often seen in news is related to which of the following? Highly developed countries, Asian tiger economies, countries with zero COVID cases, none of the above. The right answer is option D. It is neither highly developed countries nor Asian tiger economies or countries with zero COVID cases. So what is Global South? So firstly, we have asked this question because India is hosting Global South Summit on November 17th to discuss the challenges posed by the global developments and to sustain the momentum for a more inclusive world order ahead of the virtual G20 summit. So in this context, we are discussing this question, what is Global South? The Global South refers to countries around the world such as developing, less developed and underdeveloped countries. So the Global South is used to describe those countries which are a developing, less developed and underdeveloped stage. So this term was first used in 1969. What are the characteristics of Global South countries? So those countries which were poverty ridden with higher levels of income inequality and the countries with lower life expectancy and harsh living conditions are the characteristics of Global South countries. So the term Global South is not a geographical word, but it is used in geopolitics context because it denotes a mix of political, geopolitical, and economic commonalities between the nations. If you look at the regional spread, So, two of the largest countries of the global south, that is China and India, they lie entirely in the northern hemisphere, whereas many of the global south countries are present in the southern hemisphere, largely in the countries of Africa, largely in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. Next question, consider the following countries: India, Russia, United States, Japan, and China. How many of the above countries are the members of Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity? Only 2, only 3, only 4, all 5. So India is a part of this Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity. Russia, it is not a part of it. United States, yes, it is a member of IPEF. Japan, yes. China, no. So India, United States, Japan are the members of the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity, not Russia and China. So only 3 of the above mentioned countries were the part of IPEF. So under the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, we have 14 countries as its members. They were US, India, then Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, Singapore, Philippines, Brunei, Indonesia, South Korea, and Japan, Australia, and New Zealand, plus Fiji. So we have 14 countries under the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. So India has signed an agreement with the US and 12 other members of Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, 12 other members of the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity. Why? To reduce its dependence on China and to mitigate the risks from supply chain shocks. So in May 2022, United States has launched the IPEF, Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. Under this, the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework countries will represent 40% of the global GDP and 28% of the global goods and services trade. So what are the objectives of this Indo-Pacific Economic Framework? The name itself denotes that it will focus on the economic growth, fairness, competitiveness, inclusiveness, and to develop resilience in these economies. It also aims to contribute to cooperation, stability, development, peace within the region, and also to fuel the economic activity and to promote sustainable and inclusive economic growth, and also to benefit workers and consumers across this Indo-Pacific region. Next question, consider the following statements regarding NISAR. It is a joint Earth observation mission by ISRO and NASA. It will able to observe minor changes in land, vegetation, and cryosphere. It is a dual band radar imaging mission. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 only, all of the above. Coming to first statement, it is a joint Earth observation mission by ISRO and NASA. Yes, the name NISAR denotes that N stands for NASA and I stands for ISRO, that is India's ISRO. SAR, synthetic aperture radar. So the name NISAR itself denotes that it is a joint Earth observation mission by ISRO and NASA. So statement 1 is correct. Coming to second statement, it will observe the minor changes in land, vegetation, and cryosphere. Yes, second statement is also correct. Third statement is also correct. It is one of the satellite mission which has dual band radar imaging mission. Under it, it will use 2 bands, that is L band and S band. So statement 3 is also correct. All of the option D is the right answer because all of the above statements were correct. So the NISAR is a joint low Earth orbit observatory mission between NASA and ISRO, which is scheduled to take place in early 2024. The launching vehicle is GSLV Mark II launch vehicle. It carries L and S dual band synthetic aperture radar, and it is one of the first satellite mission to use two different radar frequencies, that is L band and S band. Why? To measure the changes on our planet surface. It will measure the changing ecosystems, dynamic surfaces, ice masses, and it will survey the Earth's land and ice covered surfaces for every 12 days and provide information about natural hazards, biomass, sea level rise, and the groundwater table. So the mission life is expected to be 3 years. By this, we are concluding this session. I hope this session was helpful. Thank you.